My son snapped at me. I grabbed my things and ran into the cold night. Hours later, my daughter-in-law was throwing a party in my backyard, laughing, "She's gone, we're free." But as the music shook the walls and glasses clinked, no one heard the front door slowly open. I stood on the sidewalk outside my own apartment, breath steaming in the February air. Connor had his hand on my chest like I was a stranger, not the man who taught him to ride a bike. Behind him, Aria smiled. That smile cost more than my monthly rent, all veneers and calculation. "Dad, you need to calm down," Connor said. I wasn't yelling. I never yell. That's their trick, not mine. "I'm leaving," I said. "Good idea," Aria said. "We'll talk when you're reasonable." Reasonable. Code for compliant. I walked. The Atlantic wind cut through my jacket, the kind of cold that finds your bones. 20 minutes to the boardwalk, the old amusement park rides wrapped in tarps for winter. I used to rig those rides, back when my knees worked better. Ferris wheels and roller coasters, all cables and counterweights and physics. Everything balanced until it wasn't. My phone buzzed. "Connor, maybe you should stay at a hotel tonight." I typed back, "It's my apartment." 3 dots appeared, disappeared. Nothing. I walked until my fingers went numb, then headed back. The music hit me 2 blocks away, bass thumping through the February quiet. My street, my building, my backyard. 30 people crammed onto my patio, drinking my beer probably, celebrating something. I got close enough to hear Aria's voice rise above the speakers. "She's gone. We're free." Laughter. My daughter's voice, Lila, joining the chorus. "No more walking on eggshells." Connor said something I couldn't catch. More laughter. I stood behind the fence like a ghost at my own funeral. They weren't talking about me leaving for the night. They were talking about me being gone, period, out, erased. The music rattled my windows. I checked my phone, 11:47 p.m. Mrs. Patterson next door would call the cops in 13 minutes. She always did. Noise ordinance at midnight sharp. I moved toward my building entrance. The front door stood open 6 inches. My apartment is 2nd floor, street side. The door downstairs locks automatically. Always. I oil the hinges myself, check the bolt weekly. It doesn't just drift open. I took the stairs slow, the way I move on catwalks. Weight on the balls of my feet, testing each step. Old rigger habit. The hallway was dark, except for the glow under my door. Someone was inside. I keep a utility flashlight in my jacket, the heavy kind that doubles as a club if necessary. I pulled it out and opened my door fast, light up. A kid, maybe 25, jumped back from my desk. Camera rig on his shoulder, LED panel lighting my living room like a film set. "Whoa, whoa," he put his hands up. "Aria said I could get out. She just wanted some content, man. Dad's lonely apartment thing, very sympathetic. Out, now." He grabbed his gear, stumbling over light stands. "She said you wouldn't be back tonight." She was wrong. My desk drawers were open, the lockbox I keep under the floorboard, still there, untouched. He didn't know where to look, but Aria knew I had it. She'd asked about Dad's old work stuff 3 months ago, casual as weather talk. I sat on my bed and looked at my apartment through a cameraman's eyes. Neat, plain, 56 years compressed into 800 square feet. No photos on the walls anymore. Aria used those for her family journey posts without asking. No personal touches left to weaponize. The bass from the backyard party shook my window. I counted heads through the glass. 32 people now. Aria held court near the grill, Connor beside her like a prop. Lila filmed on her phone, probably streaming it. My phone buzzed. Dana, my ex-wife. "Connor called me. Are you okay?" I typed, "Fine." "He said you were erratic." I walked away before I said something permanent. 3 dots. Then, "Smart, but Tom, they're planning something." "I know." "Do you?" I looked at the lockbox under my floorboard. Inside, 3 micro cameras, a digital recorder, copies of every maintenance keycard I'd collected in 15 years working stadiums and venues, and a logbook of every code violation I'd ever ignored for management. I'm a night custodian at the Atlantic Arena now, but I was a rigger first. We see everything. We just don't usually tell. I know, I typed again. The music stopped suddenly. Voices shouted goodbye. Car doors slammed. By midnight, my street was quiet except for the wind. I opened my laptop and started a spreadsheet. Aria's social media, her event company, Lila's yoga studio, Connor's real estate listings. I documented every post, every tagged location, every claimed achievement. At 2 a.m., I found it. A business registration filed 6 weeks ago. North Harlan Family Ventures, LLC. Partners, Aria North, Connor Harlan, Lila Harlan. Registered agent, Evan Pike, some lawyer I'd never heard of. My name, their company. No signature from me anywhere. I screenshotted everything, backed it up 3 ways, and sent a text to Al Benton. Al taught me rigging 20 years ago, survived every safety audit, every union fight, every venue closure. He's 62 now, on oxygen sometimes, but sharper than anyone I know. I need your help, I wrote. He responded in 30 seconds. Shop, 9 a.m. I lay down but didn't sleep. Above me, the ceiling fan turned slow circles. I counted rotations and thought about physics, counterweights and fulcrums, load distribution, safety margins. Everyone thinks revenge is hot. It's not. It's cold math. At 5 a.m. I got up and made coffee. My phone buzzed. Aria, posting to her story. Sometimes family means knowing when to give people space to heal, grateful for growth and boundaries. The post had a photo, my apartment building, my window. Caption, prayers for difficult seasons. 200 likes in 5 minutes. I screenshotted that too. By 8 a.m., I'd showered, dressed, and locked my apartment behind me. I took the fire escape down, avoiding the front entrance where Aria's cameraman might be waiting. Old habit from stadium work, always know 2 exits. Al's shop sat 3 blocks from the boardwalk, wedged between a tattoo parlor and a closed seafood restaurant. The sign said, Benton Rigging and Repair, but everyone just called it Al's place. I knocked twice, paused, knocked once. Our pattern. He opened the door, oxygen tube in his nose, eyes bright as ever. You look terrible, he said. I feel worse. Good. Means you're thinking. He waved me inside. The shop smelled like machine oil and old rope, every surface covered with cables, pulleys, and equipment I recognized from a dozen closed venues. Coffee's fresh. Tell me. I told him. All of it. The party, the cameraman, the business registration, the apartment keys Aria wanted, the way my kids smiled while erasing me. Al listened without interrupting, the way good riggers do. When I finished, he was quiet for 30 seconds. You want revenge, he said. I want them to understand what they did. Same thing. He poured coffee into 2 mugs. But you want to do it smart. No police, no lawyers, no violence. Correct. Then you don't hit them, you move their lights. He tapped his temple. Aria's an event planner. Connor's in real estate. Lila's got that yoga studio. They're all reputation businesses. What happens when the reputation breaks? Everything else breaks. Exactly. He pulled out a notepad, old school paper. We need 3 things: evidence, leverage, and timing. You got evidence? I showed him the screenshots, the business registration, the social media posts. He nodded. Good start. Leverage? I work at the Atlantic Arena, night custodian. His eyes lit up. You have access. Every level. Loading docks, catwalks, cable trays, server rooms. Beautiful. And timing? I pulled out my phone and showed him Aria's event calendar, publicly posted to her business page. She's got a launch party scheduled at the arena, 4 weeks. Wellness brand expansion event, 200 guests, 3 sponsors, live stream. Al smiled, the kind of smile that scared venue managers. She's coming to your house. She doesn't know it yet. Perfect. He flipped to a fresh page. Let's build the show. Before we go any further, hit the hype button, take a second to subscribe and like the video. It really helps the channel grow. And tell us in the comments, what would you do in this situation? We worked through lunch. Al's shop had a whiteboard that filled up with names, connections, dependencies. Every person was a cable in the rigging. Pull the right one, the whole system shifts. Aria's got 3 sponsors, Al said, pointing at the board. Clean Life Foods, Zenith Activewear, and some wellness app. What do they care about? Image, I said. All of them sell aspiration. Authenticity failure. He snapped his fingers. That's the lever. You don't attack Aria directly. You let her attack herself. I thought about the cameraman in my apartment, the stage sympathy shot. She's already doing it. Then we just need to make sure people see. My shift at the arena started at 10 p.m. I left Al's shop at 9:30, grabbed dinner from a food truck, and clocked in at the staff entrance. The Atlantic Arena holds 12,000 people for concerts, 15,000 for sports. Tonight it was empty except for security and the overnight maintenance crew. I nodded to Garrett, the security supervisor. Quiet night? So far. You hear about the booking conflict in April? What conflict? Some wellness event got scheduled same night as a national tour. Ops is scrambling. He showed me his tablet. Aria's event, marked in red. If it goes sideways, someone's getting blacklisted. I kept my face neutral. Sounds messy. Always is. I grabbed my cart and started my rounds. The arena at night is a different animal. Emergency lights cast shadows through empty concourses. The bowl itself echoes with every footstep. I like it. Nobody bothers the custodian. I took the service elevator to the catwalk level. Up here, the grid holds lighting rigs, speakers, and cable runs for every show. I've walked these catwalks 1,000 times, clipped in with a safety harness, moving in darkness while shows happen below. Tonight, I walked them with a purpose. I marked every camera angle, every access point, every blind spot in security coverage. The arena's surveillance is good, but predictable. Cameras cover public spaces and cash registers. They don't cover maintenance areas because nobody thinks the custodian is worth watching. At midnight, I took my break in the mechanical room. I pulled out my lockbox and reviewed the equipment. 3 wireless cameras the size of quarters, a digital recorder, maintenance keycards duplicated legally when I was crew chief 5 years ago. Nothing illegal, everything documented. My phone buzzed. Leela posting to Instagram. Dad's on a journey right now, sending light and love but respecting his process. Sometimes distance is the kindest thing. The post had 17 comments, all supportive. Nobody asked what happened. Nobody questioned the narrative. I screenshotted it and added it to my files. At 2 a.m., footsteps echoed in the loading dock. I checked the security monitor, Aria's cameraman, the same kid from my apartment. He was talking to Garrett, pointing at the dock doors. I switched the audio feed on. Just need some B-roll, the kid said. Aria's event is here next month. Wanted to scout locations. At 2 a.m., Garrett asked. I work weird hours, man. Garrett wasn't buying it. You got a booking confirmation? The kid fumbled with his phone. Aria has it. I can call her. Do that. In the meantime, you're leaving. I watched them argue for 5 minutes before Garrett escorted him out. When it was clear, I went down to the loading dock and checked the door locks. Everything secure. But the kid knew the loading schedule. He knew which entrance to try. Someone gave him that information. I pulled up the arena's rental calendar on my phone. Aria's event listing showed a note. Client has venue walkthrough scheduled, pending approval. She was trying to get inside early, scout my territory. I typed an email to the operations manager, copied from my maintenance account. Noticed unauthorized entry attempt at loading dock C, 2:13 a.m. Subject claimed association with North Harlan event. Recommend security review before approval of walkthrough requests. Sent. The operations manager, Patricia, responded at 7 a.m. Thank you. Walkthrough denied pending review. One access point closed. I finished my shift at 6 a.m. and stopped at a diner near the boardwalk. Dana sat in a booth by the window, coffee already ordered. You look like hell, she said. Third person to tell me that. Maybe listen. She slid a folder across the table. I talked to my contacts. Aria pitched a PR firm last month. North Harlan family brand. Wellness, real estate, lifestyle content. She wants to build an empire. On what foundation? You. Dana opened the folder. Inside were mock-ups, social media graphics, sponsor decks, even a logo. The tagline, from our family to yours. Every image featured my kids, and in the background, subtle but present, photos of me. Old family dinners, holiday gatherings, my face cropped to look distant or angry. She's been curating this for months, Dana said, making you the obstacle they overcame, the difficult parent they grew beyond. She needs me gone but present, I said, a ghost in the story. Exactly. I flipped through the deck. One page caught my eye. Heritage recipes, Harlan family traditions. My grandmother's lemon cake recipe, the one I taught Lila when she was 12, rebranded as North Harlan Family Legacy Lemon Cake. She's taking everything, I said quietly. Dana nodded. And if you fight it publicly, you're the bitter ex-father proving her story right. What if I don't fight publicly? Then what? I closed the folder. I let her build the whole thing, right up until the moment it matters most. Dana studied me. We were married for 18 years, divorced for 12. She knows my face better than anyone. You're planning something, she said. I'm a custodian. I clean up messes. Tom, I won't break laws. I won't hurt anyone physically, but I'm done being the ghost in their story. She sipped her coffee. What do you need from me? Tell me when they make the next move. They already did. She pulled out her phone. Connor posted this morning. He's hosting a family healing circle at his house this weekend. Invitation only. I looked at the post. 30 people tagged. Community leaders, local press, and 3 city council members. All the right witnesses. Healing circle, I said. PR theatre. They'll position themselves as the mature ones, taking the high road. While I'm the absence that proves their point. Exactly. I finished my coffee and stood. Thanks for the warning. Tom, be careful. Aria's smart. She's already 10 steps ahead. Then I'll be at step 11. I left the diner and walked to the boardwalk. The amusement park sat empty, rides dormant under tarps. The Ferris wheel stood like a skeleton against the grey sky. I worked that wheel for 3 summers, knew every bolt and cable. My phone buzzed, Aria posting to her story. Healing isn't linear. Sometimes you have to let people go with love. The post showed Connor's house, decorated for the healing circle, candles, crystals, and a table full of food. I zoomed in on the table. My grandmother's lemon cake sat center stage. I called Al. We need to move faster. What happened? They're using her recipe. This weekend. Public event. Al was quiet for a moment. We're not ready. Then we get ready. Tom, if you rush this... I'm not rushing. I'm adjusting the timeline. Can you get to the boardwalk tonight? Why? I need to show you something. We met at the park entrance after sunset. Al brought his gear bag, the one with Locke's picks that weren't quite legal, but nobody questioned a retired rigger carrying tools. I led him through the fence, not breaking in, using the maintenance gate I still had a key for. Inside, the park was a maze of shadows and covered rides. Remember the tilt-a-whirl? I asked. Rebuilt it twice. I walked him to the center platform. Above us, catwalks connected every ride, a network of metal paths visible only from above. Every ride in this park connects through the catwalk system. Same principle as the arena. You want to use this place? Arya's cameraman will come back. He's persistent. When he does, I want to show him what happens when you walk into someone else's territory. Al looked up at the catwalks. Non-lethal. Completely. Just a lesson in access control. You're going to chase him. I'm going to guide him. There's a difference. We spent 2 hours mapping the park. By the time we finished, we had a route that would tire anyone unfamiliar with the layout while keeping them completely safe. It's a maze, Al said. It's theater, I corrected, just like their healing circle. We locked up and headed back. At the gate, Al grabbed my arm. Tom, once you start this, you can't stop halfway. They'll bury you. I know. And you're sure? I thought about Connor's hand on my chest, Arya's smile, Lila filming my humiliation for content. I'm sure, he nodded. Then let's make it a good show. Connor's healing circle happened on Saturday. I wasn't invited, but Dana was. She went as a neutral observer, recorded everything on her phone. The video arrived at 9 p.m. I watched it twice. Connor stood in his living room, 30 people in a semicircle. Thank you all for coming. This is hard for us, but healing requires community. Arya beside him, holding his hand. We want to be transparent. My father-in-law is struggling. We've tried to help, but sometimes love means boundaries. Lila nodded from the corner. Dad's anger has been escalating. We're worried about his mental health. A city council member. What kind of escalation? Showing up at our house unannounced, Connor said. Sending strange messages, making my wife feel unsafe. I paused the video, rewound. Making my wife feel unsafe. Not threatened, not harassed. Unsafe. The word choice was deliberate. Legal padding. Dana's text. This is worse than I thought. They're building a case for a restraining order. I typed back, let them try. Tom, they have 30 witnesses. I have cameras. I pulled up my own footage from the night Connor pushed me. I'd been wearing the body camera, recording everything. His hand on my chest. Arya's smile. My calm exit. Nothing threatening. Nothing unsafe. Just a father leaving before words became permanent. I sent the video to Dana. Insurance policy. Jesus, Tom, how long have you been recording? Since I realized they were performing for an audience. Sunday morning, I got a call from Mrs. Patterson next door. Tom, someone was asking about you. What kind of someone? Young man, said he was from code enforcement, wanted to know about noise complaints. I pulled up the building's complaint history. No violations in 18 months, no inspections scheduled. What did you tell him? I asked. That you're the quietest tenant in the building. Why? No reason. Thanks for letting me know. I hung up and called the building manager, Steve. Did code enforcement contact you about my unit? No, why would they? Someone's pretending to be an inspector. Steve sighed. Probably the daughter-in-law's people. They called last week asking about lease terms. I told them to pound sand. What did they want to know? If you had a rent-controlled agreement, if there were any violations they could leverage. He paused. Tom, what's going on? They want me out of the apartment. They can't force you out. You've been here 15 years. Your lease is solid. I know, but they're going to try anyway. Let them. I'm not breaking a legal lease because someone's playing family drama. I thanked him and hung up. Another access point closed. My phone buzzed. Arya posting. Update. Family conversation went beautifully. Sometimes the people who love you most need to hear hard truths. Grateful for community support. 43 comments, all sympathetic. I went to the arena early and found Patricia in her office. Got a minute? I asked. Always. What's up? I showed her the business registration for North Harlan Family Ventures. The event next month. Did they disclose this? She frowned. Disclose what? They're using my family name for a business I didn't authorize. If something goes wrong at their event, liability could extend to me. Patricia's frown deepened. Let me check the contract. She pulled it up on her computer. Booking is under Aria North Events, but the promotional material says North Harlan family. Exactly. That's a problem. If they're representing it as a family business but you're not a partner, that's misrepresentation. She made notes. I'll flag this for legal review. I'm not trying to cancel their event. I know, but we need to protect the venue. If they're misrepresenting their business structure, that's a contract issue. She looked at me. Tom, you've worked here for 10 years. I trust you. What's really going on? I told her the abbreviated version. The family split, the brand they were building, the way they were using my name and history without consent. Patricia listened, then shook her head. That's dirty business. It's legal, technically. Doesn't make it right. She typed something. I'm adding a clause to their event contract. Any promotional material using family names requires written consent from all parties. If they can't provide that, the event gets cancelled. Will they agree to that? If they want the venue, they will. I thanked her and left. Another lever in place. At midnight, I was walking the arena catwalks when Garrett radioed. Tom, got a situation at loading dock B. What kind of situation? Your son and some guy trying to deliver paperwork. Says it's urgent. I climbed down and walked to the dock. Connor stood under the loading lights, another man beside him in a suit. Dad, Connor said, we need to talk. I'm working. This will just take a minute. He held up an envelope. We need you to sign something. What is it? The suit answered. I'm Evan Pike, attorney for North Harlan Family Ventures. This is a consent form allowing use of your name and family history in business materials. Not interested. Mr. Harlan, this is a formality. Your family is already using. My family is using my name without permission. That's the problem. Connor stepped forward. Dad, don't be difficult. This is good for everyone. How is it good for me? You'll be part of something bigger. Legacy, family brand. I don't want a family brand. I want to be left alone. Evan pulled out a second envelope. If you don't sign, we'll proceed anyway. This is a notification that we're seeking a formal evaluation of your mental capacity. I looked at Connor. You're threatening me with a competency hearing. It's not a threat. We're concerned. Save it. I turned to Garrett. These gentlemen need to leave. They're not authorized to be in the loading area. Garrett nodded. You heard him. Out. Connor's face flushed. This is ridiculous. Dad, you're being paranoid. I'm being smart. There's a difference. I pointed at the exit. Leave. Evan put a hand on Connor's shoulder. We'll file the paperwork Monday. File whatever you want, I said. They left. Garrett watched them go, then looked at me. Your family, he asked. Used to be. Want me to flag them in the system? Just make sure they don't get back here without authorization. Done. I went back to work, but my hands were shaking, not from fear, from something colder. At 3 a.m. I texted Al. They're filing for a competency hearing. He called immediately. Can they do that? Anyone can file, doesn't mean they'll win. You need a lawyer. I need evidence. They're building a narrative. I need to dismantle it. How? Remember the wedding? Which part? All of it. The wedding was 2 years ago. I haven't talked about it, not really, but Dana still has the video. I met her at a coffee shop Tuesday morning. She brought her laptop, pulled up the file. Are you sure you want to watch this? She asked. I need to. She hit play. The ballroom at the Grand Coastal. 300 guests in summer whites. Connor and Aria at the head table. Speeches done, cake cut. Everything perfect. Then Aria stood, microphone in hand. I want to thank my new father-in-law, Tom Harlan. She gestured at me in the crowd. Tom has been so generous. In fact, I have one tiny favor to ask. The room went quiet. Tom lives in a beautiful rent-controlled apartment downtown, very desirable. And I was thinking, Since we're family now, maybe he could give me the keys. She laughed, light and sparkling. Just kidding, sort of. But seriously, Tom, any chance? The crowd laughed nervously. I didn't move. Arya walked toward my table, microphone still hot. Come on, Dad. It would mean so much. We're family now. I stood. No. The laughter died. No? She blinked, confused, like I'd broken script. It's my home, I said, not a wedding gift. Her smile tightened. I'm joking, Tom. Can't you take a joke? Can you take no for an answer? 300 people watching. Arya's hand came up fast. The slap echoed. I didn't react, didn't move. Just stood there while my cheek burned and cameras flashed. Connor jumped up. Dad, what the hell? I said no. I pulled out my phone and made one call. 10 minutes later, Captain Neil North walked into the ballroom. I'd met Neil once before, at an arena charity event. Arya's father, estranged for 5 years over some family fight nobody talked about. He walked slowly, oxygen tank on a cart. The room parted. Arya went white. Dad? Someone called me, Neil said. His voice was thin but steady. Said my daughter was getting married. Thought I should be here. You weren't invited, Arya whispered. I know. He looked at the room, at Connor, at me with my red cheek. But I came anyway. He sat at an empty table, didn't say another word, just sat there while the room figured out what to do. People started crying. Not sad tears, the complicated kind, the kind that happen when a story gets real. Connor hugged him. Lila brought him water. Arya stood frozen, her perfect moment fractured. The video ended there. Dana closed the laptop. I forgot how brutal that was. Who do you think won? In the moment? You? Long term? She shook her head. Tom, she spun that into a story about family reconciliation. Made herself the hero who forgave you for ruining her moment. I know. I've seen the posts. Then why bring it up now? Because people remember the slap. They remember Neil walking in. They remember it felt wrong. I leaned forward. That's the foundation. I just need to build on it. My phone buzzed. Text from an unknown number. This is Captain Neil North. Heard you've been asking about me. We should talk. I showed Dana. How did he get my number? You called him 2 years ago. I used the arena's phone. Maybe he wants to say something before he can't. I texted back, coffee tomorrow. His response, better make it today. Tomorrow's not guaranteed. We met at a diner near the hospital. Neil looked smaller than I remembered, oxygen tube in his nose, hands thin, but his eyes were sharp. You called me to that wedding, he said. Why? Because she was taking something that wasn't hers. I thought you should see it. You used me. Yes. He smiled barely. Good. She needed someone to see. He pushed a folder across the table. This is for you. Documentation of everything Arya's done since she was 14. Lying, manipulating, rewriting history. Her mother saved it all. I opened the folder. Medical records showing a faked allergy scare. School reports of bullying covered up with tears. Financial records showing small-scale fraud. Why give this to me? I asked. Because she cut me out 5 years ago when I tried to hold her accountable. Said I was toxic, and maybe I was, sometimes. But I knew what she was. He coughed, wet and painful. Now she's doing it to you, and you're fighting back. I want to help. This is pretty personal to hand over. Personal doesn't matter anymore. He met my eyes. You got a plan? I'm working on it. Make it count. She's spent her whole life building masks. Someone needs to pull them off. He stood, slowly. I stood with him. Neil, I said. Thank you. Don't thank me. Finish it. He left. I sat with the folder and felt the weight of it. This wasn't just ammunition. That weekend, the boardwalk hosted a small winter market. Local vendors, holiday shopping, the kind of event that drew a few hundred people. Arya announced she'd be there, hosting a community conversation about family wellness. I texted Al, "This is our test run." "You sure you're ready?" "No, but we're doing it anyway." Saturday morning, I arrived at the market early. Al met me near the main stage, a small platform with speakers and a microphone. Local bands played here. Community announcements, nothing fancy. "You got the audio?" I asked. "Rigged to the spare channel. You'll have 30 seconds before they cut you off. Make it count." Arya's booth was near the stage, decorated with North Harlan family branding. She'd brought Lila, who filmed everything for Instagram. Connor worked the crowd, shaking hands like he was running for something. At 2 p.m., Arya took the stage. The crowd gathered, maybe 100 people. "Thank you all for coming," she said. "Today I want to talk about difficult family moments and how we grow through them." She spoke for 10 minutes, polished, practiced, perfect. She talked about boundaries and self-care and the courage to let toxic people go. Never named me, but everyone knew. Then she invited questions. Someone asked, "How do you balance family loyalty with self-protection?" Arya smiled. "That's such an important question. Let me tell you about my wedding." I nodded at Al. He flipped a switch. My voice came through the speakers. Not live, recorded. From the video Dana showed me. "It's my home, not a wedding gift." The crowd shifted, confused. Then Arya's recorded voice. "Come on, Dad. It would mean so much. We're family now." Silence. Then the slap, crystal clear through the audio. Arya's face went white. She grabbed for the microphone, but the recording kept playing. Neil's voice. "Someone called me, said my daughter was getting married. Thought I should be here." The crowd murmured. People pulled out phones, recording this moment. Al cut the audio. I stepped forward through the crowd. "Hi, Arya." She stared at me. "What are you doing?" "Telling my side." I turned to the crowd. 2 years ago, she asked for my apartment keys at her wedding, in front of 300 people. I said no. She slapped me. Then I called her estranged father to remind everyone what family really means. "That's not what happened," Arya said quickly. "You're twisting." "I have video. Dana, send it to everyone who wants it." Dana, standing in the crowd, held up her phone. "Already posted to YouTube. Public link." 2 people near the stage were already watching it. Then 5, then 20. Arya tried to recover. "This is harassment. You're trying to sabotage. I'm correcting the record." I looked at the crowd. "She's been building a brand on my family name without permission, using my grandmother's recipes, my history, my reputation, all while calling me toxic." A woman in the crowd. "Is that true?" Connor pushed forward. "Dad, stop it. You're embarrassing yourself." "No," I said. "I'm embarrassing you. There's a difference." He shoved me. I didn't shove back, just stood there while phones recorded. "Go ahead," I said. "Show them who's really violent." Security moved in, separated us. The crowd dispersed, buzzing. Arya's booth emptied fast. I walked away. Al followed. "That was risky," he said. "That was necessary. Now they know I'm not hiding." My phone exploded with notifications. The video was spreading, comments, shares, reactions. Half supported me, half thought I was bitter, but everyone was talking. Arya posted an hour later. "Today I experienced targeted harassment from someone who refuses to heal. I'm okay. Boundaries stay strong." The post got 200 likes, but the comments were different this time. Questions, skepticism. Dana texted, "You started something." I replied, "Just warming up." Monday morning, Patricia called. "Arya's event at the arena. We need to talk." Patricia sat across from me in her office, contract on the desk. "I sent Arya's team the consent clause," she said. "They refused to sign." "What happens now?" Normally, I'd cancel the event, but her lawyer threatened legal action. She rubbed her temples. Tom, I believe you, but the arena can't afford a lawsuit right now. What if the event fails on its own? What do you mean? Capacity issues, safety violations, permit problems, things that have nothing to do with me. She studied me. What are you suggesting? I'm suggesting that if someone notices existing code violations and reports them, that's not sabotage. That's proper protocol. Tom, check their staging plans. They're blocking emergency aisles. She pulled up the file, flipped through the layouts. Jesus, they are. And they're overcounting occupancy. I checked the numbers. They're claiming 200 guests but requesting seating for 250. Patricia's jaw tightened. That's a fire code violation, which you're obligated to report. This could shut down their event. Or they could fix it and proceed legally. I stood. I'm not asking you to do anything improper. I'm just pointing out what's already there. She stared at the paperwork. I need to make some calls. I left her office and went to work. At lunch, I called the arena's insurance carrier. This is Tom Harlan, night custodian at Atlantic Arena. I need to report a material change to an upcoming event. The agent sounded bored. What kind of change? The booking is listed as corporate event, but promotional materials show it's a business launch for a company that's misrepresenting its ownership structure. How is that material? If someone claims family business status but a family member disputes that, liability shifts. Your policy probably has clauses about representation. Silence, then typing. Let me check the contract. More typing. You're right. If there's a dispute over business structure, we need signed waivers from all listed parties. Do you have those? I'll find out. I hung up and went back to work. By 3 p.m., Patricia texted, "Fire Marshal wants revised layouts by Friday or event is cancelled." Aria's response came through Instagram. "Dealing with obstacles to our family event. Some people will do anything to stay relevant." The comments were split, half supportive, half calling her out. Connor posted on Facebook, "When family members weaponize bureaucracy instead of healing, everyone loses. Disappointed but not surprised." I didn't respond, didn't need to. The bureaucracy was doing the work. Thursday night, I was walking the arena catwalks when I heard footsteps below. I looked down. Evan Pike, Aria's lawyer, moving through the restricted area near the sound booth. I climbed down quietly and followed. He was checking cable runs, making notes. "Lost?" I asked. He spun. "Jesus, you scared me." "Restricted area. How'd you get in?" "I have a vendor pass." "For what vendor?" He held up a badge. "Catering services." "Clever." "That doesn't give you access to technical areas," I said. "I'm just looking around." "Looking for what?" He met my eyes. "Ways to make sure this event happens without interference." "Like tampering with equipment? Like understanding the layout so we're prepared?" "For what?" "For whatever you're planning." I smiled. "I'm a custodian. I clean floors." "You're more than that, and you're trying to destroy Aria." "I'm trying to protect my name. If that destroys her business, maybe her business was built on sand." He stepped closer. "You need to back off. This family has been through enough." "This family?" I said. "Or Aria's brand?" His hand shot out, grabbing for my phone. I stepped back, turned, headed for the catwalk stairs. He followed. "Give me the phone," he demanded. I climbed fast, the way I've climbed catwalks for 20 years. He followed, less certain. We were 20 feet up now, grid systems spreading out in all directions. "You're trespassing," I said, "with a fake pass. On camera." I pointed at the security camera above us, red light blinking. Evan went pale. "I have authorization." "From who? Show me the paperwork." He didn't have any. "Here's what happens next," I said. "You leave. I report the trespass. Security bans Aria's crew for safety violations. Your event license gets reviewed." "You can't do that." "I just did." I pulled a safety counterweight cable. releasing the tension. The catwalk door behind him slammed shut, separating him from the exit. Now you take the marked path, on camera, and security escorts you out. This is assault. This is safety protocol. You're in a restricted area. I'm securing the scene. I radioed Garrett. Got a trespasser on the catwalk grid. Need escort. Garrett arrived with 2 security officers. They walked Evan down, checked his badge, found it fraudulent, wrote him up. Ban him, Garrett said, and anyone associated with his event. The ban hit Aria's event 48 hours before the launch. I watched her Instagram story that night, trembling hands, tears, talking about targeted attacks and conspiracy. But the comments were shifting, people asking questions, demanding details. Someone posted, "Why was your lawyer trespassing with a fake badge?" Another, "If this is a family business, where's the family consent?" The cracks were showing. Friday morning, my phone rang. Unknown number. "This is Captain Neil. They called me." "Aria?" "Connor asked me to walk her down the VIP stairs at the event, said it would mean everything, family healing moment." He coughed. I said yes. "Why?" "I'll do it, but Tom, you have to be ready." "For what?" "She'll apologize, on camera, for the slap. She needs the visual, but it won't be real. She'll spin it after." "What if I don't let her spin it?" "Then make your move before she can." "I need her to admit it on mic." I thanked him and hung up. Texted Al, "It's happening. This weekend." His response, "Split audio feed is ready. You'll have control." "And if security cuts me off?" "They won't. I got a friend in ops. They think you're monitoring for safety." "I am monitoring for safety, just not the kind they think." Saturday morning, Aria posted, "Despite obstacles, our event is moving forward. Revised layouts approved. We will not be silenced." The event was set for 7 p.m. I clocked in at 6. Garrett met me at the entrance. "You good?" he asked. "Always." "Tom, if something happens tonight..." "Nothing will happen. Just going to make sure the show runs smooth." He nodded, but his eyes said he knew better. At 6:30, guests started arriving. 200 people in business casual, carrying gift bags with North Harlan family branding. Lila's yoga studio had a booth. Connor networked. Aria stood center stage, radiant. I stayed in the shadows, watching, waiting. At 6:45, my phone buzzed. Connor. "Dad, please don't do anything tonight. This is important to us." I didn't respond. At 6:50, Lila texted, "I know you're there. Please, for once, just let us have this." I turned my phone off. At 7 p.m., the lights dimmed. Music started. Aria took the stage. "Welcome to the North Harlan Family Wellness launch." The crowd cheered. I climbed the catwalk stairs and took my position. Before the event started, something broke. Not at the arena. At home. Tuesday afternoon, 3 days before the launch, I got a call from Steve, the building manager. "Tom, your apartment. Someone's inside." "What?" "Mrs. Patterson heard noise. Called me. I checked your door. It's open." I was across town. "I'm coming." "Should I call the police?" "No, I'll handle it." I drove fast, parked crooked, took the stairs 2 at a time. The door stood open, voices inside. Connor and Lila. In my apartment, camera crew setting up lights. "What are you doing?" I asked. Lila jumped. "Dad, we can explain." "Get out." Connor held up his hands. "We're documenting, for the family story." "This is breaking and entering." "Mom gave us keys." "Dana doesn't live here. She doesn't have keys." "She said you gave them to her." "I didn't." I walked through my apartment. They'd staged it. Empty liquor bottles on the counter. I don't drink. Pill bottles on the nightstand. Not mine. Photos torn and scattered. Everything carefully arranged to look like a breakdown. "What is this?" I demanded. "We're showing people what we've been dealing with," Connor said. "The decline." "There is no decline. This is fake. Your apartment is a mess, Dad. Look at it. Because you made it this way. The cameraman filmed everything. I grabbed his camera. Hey! He tried to pull it back. I didn't let go. You're filming in my home without consent. That's illegal. Arya authorized. Arya doesn't live here. I do. I yanked the camera free, ejected the memory card. Get out, all of you. Connor stepped forward. You can't kick us out. We're documenting. You're staging, and you're leaving. He shoved me. I didn't shove back. I stepped to the wall where my legal camera sat hidden in the smoke detector. The camera I installed 3 months ago when I realized they were planning something. Everything was recording. Go ahead, I said. Show everyone how you treat your father in his own home. Connor shoved me again. Harder. I stumbled but didn't fight back. Lila grabbed Connor. Stop it, he's recording. Connor froze. What? That's a camera. She pointed at the smoke detector. I saw the light. I smiled. Motion activated. Running since you broke in. The color drained from Connor's face. You set us up. You set yourselves up. I just documented it. The cameraman packed his gear fast. Connor and Lila followed him out. Before leaving, Layla turned. We were trying to help you. No, you were trying to build a story. There's a difference. She left. I locked the door behind them and checked the camera. Everything captured. The staged pills, the fake bottles, the shoves, their admissions. I downloaded the footage and sent copies to 3 places: my cloud storage, Dana, and the building's landlord. Steve called 10 minutes later. Tom, what the hell? You saw the video? Connor just called me. Said you attacked them. Watch the footage. Silence while he reviewed it. Then, holy shit. They broke in, staged evidence, assaulted me when I caught them. That's illegal. I know. Can you file a report with the property management company? Already doing it. Tom, this is grounds for lease violations in their buildings. If they're on a co-op or condo board anywhere, this could affect their standing. Do what you need to do. One more thing. I found how they got keys. Dana didn't give them. They had copies made 6 months ago when Connor was helping you move furniture. He took your keyring, got duplicates. Can you prove that? I checked the building logs. Connor signed in as your guest 9 times in the last 6 months. You were never home during those visits. I sat down. 9 times. 9 visits I didn't know about. They'd been in my apartment, going through my life, planning this. Thanks, Steve. Tom, be careful. They're not done. He was right. That night, Connor posted on social media. Had to stage an intervention today. Dad's living conditions are unsafe. We're exploring legal options to ensure his well-being. The post had edited footage, their camera before I took it, clips showing the mess, my anger, me grabbing the camera, all the context removed. But I had the full video. I posted it to YouTube, unedited. 12 minutes of them breaking in, staging evidence, admitting their plan, and shoving me when caught. Title: What Really Happened in My Apartment. Views climbed fast. 100, 1,000, 5,000. Comments poured in. This is elder abuse. They broke into his home. Connor assaulted him on camera. The pills were fake. This is sick. Arya responded with her own post. Edited videos can show anything. The truth is more complicated. Our family is hurting, and we're trying to help. But people weren't buying it anymore. They'd seen the proof. Dana called. Tom, Connor's real estate office suspended him pending an ethics review. When? Today. They saw the video, said it reflects poorly on the company. What about Lila? Her yoga studio lost 3 sponsorships. Brands don't want to be associated with the controversy. I should have felt satisfied. Instead, I felt tired. Tom, you okay? Dana asked. I'm fine. You're not. I know that voice. I started something I can't stop. You started defending yourself. There's a difference. Is there? She was quiet for a moment. What they did was wrong. You have every right to fight back. I know, but it doesn't feel like winning. Because you're a decent person. They're not. I hung up and looked at my apartment. The staged mess was cleaned up, but the feeling remained. They'd been here, in my space, multiple times, planning this. I walked to my desk and pulled out the files. Everything I documented. Social media posts, business registrations, photos, videos, months of evidence. On my laptop, I opened the folder marked Twist. Inside, screenshots of Aria's promotional materials for the launch event, the run of show, the sponsor presentations, and one document that changed everything. Heritage Recipe Partnership, North Harlan Family Cakes. The sponsor was Clean Life Foods. The product, pre-packaged lemon cakes using authentic Harlan family recipe passed down through generations. My grandmother's recipe, the one she taught me, the one I taught Lila, rebranded, repackaged, sold. The document detailed the partnership. Clean Life would pay North Harlan Family Ventures $50,000 up front, plus royalties. The recipe would launch at the arena event, with Aria and Lila baking it live on stage. They didn't need my apartment. They needed my family story. The humble origins, the working-class roots, the grandmother who baked with love. That's what they were selling. And I never consented. I called Al. We need to talk. He arrived 20 minutes later. I showed him the documents. This is it, he said. This is the whole game. The apartment was misdirection. Exactly. They knew you'd fight for the apartment. While you were focused on that, they stole everything that mattered. My family history. And they're monetizing it. He pointed at the contract. Unauthorized use of family recipes. That's intellectual property theft. Can I stop it? Legally? Maybe. But that takes time. He looked at me. Or you stop it your way. How? You own the story. They're just borrowing it, so you take it back, publicly, at their event, in front of 200 people, in front of cameras. Make them admit it. Make them explain how they justified stealing from you. And when they can't, the sponsors will walk. That's a big assumption. Clean Life Foods built their brand on authenticity. If they're caught using stolen recipes from a family that's publicly fighting, their marketing implodes. They'll pull the partnership to protect themselves. I thought about it. The timing, the execution, the risk. What if it doesn't work? Then you're no worse off than now. But Tom, you've been playing defense this whole time. It's time to attack. He was right. I looked at my phone. 2 days until the event. Okay, I said, let's finish this. The day before the event, Captain Neil texted, "Can we meet?" I found him at the hospital, sitting in the oncology wing's common area. He looked smaller than last week, oxygen tube, thin hands, but his eyes burned. They asked me to walk Aria on stage tomorrow, he said. Some VIP entrance moment. Are you doing it? Yes, but not for her. He leaned forward. I'll make her apologize. For the slap, for using you, all of it, on microphone. She won't do it. She will. Last chance to prove she's redeemed. He smiled, bitter. I know my daughter. She'll say anything if it helps her image. And then? Then you do whatever you're planning. I'll have given you the opening. Use it. Neil, Don't thank me. I enabled her for years. This is the least I can do. He coughed, wet and rattling. Just make sure it counts. I nodded. It will. That night I met Al at the arena. We walked the catwalks, testing the audio system. The split feed was ready. Main speakers for the event, auxiliary channel I could control from my position. You'll have maybe 45 seconds before they realize what's happening, Al said. Make every word count. What about security? Garrett knows something's up, but he trusts you. As long as you don't damage anything or hurt anyone, he'll give you time. And after it's done, you can't take it back. I looked down at the empty arena floor. Tomorrow it would be full of people celebrating a brand built on theft, unless I stopped it. I'm ready, I said. You sure? No, but I'm doing it anyway. Friday morning, Arya posted a video. Her and Neil at the hospital. She was crying, holding his hand. My father and I have been estranged, but tomorrow we're healing. He's walking me on stage. Family first. Always. The video had 50,000 views in 2 hours. Comments overflowed with support. So beautiful. Family is everything. This is real courage. Nobody mentioned me. I was the ghost again, the obstacle they'd overcome. I spent the day preparing. Double-checked the audio. Reviewed my notes. Made sure every piece of evidence was accessible. Dana called at noon. Tom, Connor's planning something. What kind of something? He told me Arya's worried you'll disrupt the event. They're bringing extra security. Let them. Tom, they could have you removed. Only if I break the law. I won't. You're scaring me. Good, that means they're scared too. I hung up and went to the arena early. Clocked in at 4 p.m. Garrett met me at the entrance. Big night, he said. Might be. Tom, whatever happens, stay smart. Always. I walked the building, checking exits and sight lines. At 5 p.m., the event crew arrived, staging, lights, catering. They set up the North Harlan family booth near the main floor. Photos of Connor, Lila, and Arya. The grandmother's lemon cake recipe printed on banners. No photos of me, my family, my history, just their brand. At 6 p.m., guests started arriving. Business attire, gift bags, promotional materials. Lila worked her booth. Connor networked. Arya stood near the stage, checking details. I stayed in the shadows, watching. At 6:30, Neil arrived. Wheelchair now, oxygen tank. Arya rushed to him, cameras following. Dad, you made it. Promised I would. His voice was thin. Ready for our moment? Almost. I need to tell you something first. They stepped away from cameras. I couldn't hear the conversation, but I saw Arya's face shift. Serious, focused. Neil was giving her instructions. The apology, what to say, how to sell it. At 6:45, Arya took the microphone for sound check. Her voice filled the arena. Testing, can everyone hear me? The crowd responded. She smiled. Good, we're about to start something beautiful. I climbed the catwalk stairs. Up here, the grid stretched across the entire arena. Cable runs, lighting rigs, and the auxiliary audio panel. I plugged in my headset and tested the channel. Clear. Ready. At 6:55, the lights dimmed. Music started. Arya's voice. Welcome, everyone. Tonight is about family, healing, and the courage to build something real. The crowd cheered. She continued. I want to start with a special moment. My father, Captain Neil North, is here tonight. We've been estranged, but love wins, always. Neil wheeled onto the stage. The crowd stood, applauding, some crying. Arya knelt beside him. Dad, I'm so glad you're here. Me too, sweetheart. He looked at the audience. Arya asked me to say something, so I will. 2 years ago, at her wedding, there was an incident with her father-in-law, Tom Harlan. The crowd went silent. Tom called me that night, asked me to come. I did. And I saw something I'll never forget. My daughter asking for something that wasn't hers, being told no, and reacting badly. Arya's face tightened. Neil continued. I've thought about that night a lot, and I realized Tom was right. Sometimes love means boundaries. Sometimes family means honesty. He looked at Arya. Tell them what you did. Dad, this isn't the time. Tell them, or I will. Silence. The entire arena holding its breath. Arya stood, composure cracking. I asked Tom for his apartment keys, at my wedding, in front of everyone. He said no. I slapped him. Gasps from the crowd. And then, Neil prompted, and then he called you, to embarrass me. No, Neil said, to remind you that family isn't a performance. It's people, real people. And Tom is family, whether you want him to be or not. Arya's hands trembled. I was trying to grow, to build something on his back, Neil finished, using his name, his history, his family recipes, without asking. The crowd shifted. Phones came out, recording. This was my moment. I activated the auxiliary channel. My voice filled the arena. Hello, everyone. I'm Tom Harlan. Arya's head snapped up toward the catwalk. The crowd turned, trying to find my voice. I'm Connor's father, I continued. Lila's father, Arya's father-in-law. The man you've heard about but haven't heard from. Security moved toward the catwalks, but Garrett held up a hand, watching, waiting. 2 years ago, Arya asked for my apartment keys at her wedding. I said no. She slapped me. Captain Neil North walked in, and the room cried. Tonight, she apologized. On camera. Not because she meant it. Arya grabbed a microphone. This is harassment. This is truth, I said. And here's more truth. You're not just using my apartment or my name. You're using my grandmother's lemon cake recipe, the one she taught me, the one I taught Lila. You trademarked it, sold it to Clean Life Foods for $50,000, without my consent. Murmurs rippled through the crowd. I have the contract, I said. Dated 3 months ago. North Harlan Family Ventures. Except it's not a family business. I never agreed. I never signed. You stole my family history and monetized it. A man in a suit near the front stood up. I'm the Clean Life Foods representative. Is this true? Arya's face went white. We can explain. Is there a dispute over ownership? The rep demanded. Tom gave us the recipe, Connor said, stepping forward. Family tradition. I gave Lila the recipe, I interrupted, for her to use. Not sell, not trademark, not build a brand around. The Clean Life rep pulled out his phone, typing fast. His face darkened. Our contract stipulates undisputed family ownership. If there's a conflict, we have grounds to void the partnership. This is ridiculous, Arya said. Tom is bitter because we're successful. I'm accurate, I said, and I'm revoking permission, publicly, in front of cameras. That recipe is not yours to use. Phones everywhere now, recording, streaming. I continued. And one more thing, the North Harlan family brand. That's not a family. That's 3 people who cut me out, staged my apartment to look like a breakdown, broke into my home with fake keys, and assaulted me when I caught them. All documented. All on camera. You want to see the footage? It's on YouTube. Unedited. The crowd pulled out phones, searching, finding. Connor tried to speak, but his voice cracked. Dad, please. I gave you chances. You called me toxic, unstable, a burden. You filed for a competency hearing, threatened restraining orders, all while stealing from me. I paused. Well, here's my competency, and my restraint. I could have sued, could have pressed charges, could have destroyed you legally. Instead, I let you build your brand, right up until the moment it mattered most. And now I'm taking it back. Movement below. Evan Pike, Arya's lawyer, trying to reach the audio panel. He moved fast through the crowd, heading for the catwalk stairs. I watched him climb, 40 feet up now, 50. You're trespassing, I called down. You're sabotaging a legal event, he shouted back. I'm exercising free speech. There's a difference. He reached the grid level, breathing hard, moved toward the auxiliary panel. Don't touch that, I warned. You need to stop. No, I really don't. He lunged for the panel. I stepped back, unclipped a safety cable. The counterweight dropped, not on him, nowhere near him. But the sudden movement shifted the catwalk door. It swung shut between us with a bang. Evan stumbled backward, caught the rail. Safe, but trapped. Security! Arya screamed from below. Garrett's voice on the radio. Tom, what's happening? Trespasser tried to cut my audio. I secured the area using standard safety protocol. He's fine, just contained. You're pushing it. I'm finishing it. Below, chaos. The Clean Life rep was on his phone. Other sponsors gathered, talking urgently. People leaving. Aria trying to salvage the moment, but her voice shook. Please, everyone, this is a family dispute. We can resolve. By giving back what you stole, I said, starting with my grandmother's name. Neil wheeled forward to the microphone. Aria, he's right. Dad, I don't have time for your stories anymore. His voice carried, strong despite the oxygen. Tom called me 2 years ago because he saw through you, and he was right. You've spent your life building masks. Tonight, they came off. Silence, then applause. Not from everyone. Maybe 30 people. But it started a shift. More people left, then more. Aria stood alone on stage, Connor and Lila beside her. The North Harlan family brand crumbling in real time. The Clean Life rep walked out. 2 other sponsors followed. Garrett radioed. Tom, you need to come down. Almost done. National tour starts in 90 minutes. If this delays them, we blacklist everyone involved. Tell them to start their load-in. This is over. I looked down at Aria. She stared up at me, mascara running. You can't do this, she said. I leaned into the microphone one last time. I already did. House lights slammed up to full. The magic broke. People saw the staging, the cameras, the performance. Security moved in, escorting Evan down from the catwalk, carefully, safely, no injuries, just removal. I climbed down and met Garrett at the floor level. That was quite a show, he said. It was necessary. The venue's legal team will want to talk. Tell them I documented everything. I didn't damage property, didn't touch anyone, just spoke the truth. He nodded slowly. You're either the smartest person I know or the craziest. Can't it be both? Security escorted Aria's crew out. She walked past me without looking. Connor followed. Lila stopped. I hope this was worth it, she said. Your grandmother would think so. She flinched and kept walking. Dana appeared from the crowd. Tom, you saw? Everyone saw. It's already on 6 different live streams. Good. You realize what you just did? I took back my family name. You destroyed theirs. They built it on theft. It was already destroyed. They just didn't know it yet. She looked at me for a long moment. Are you okay? I'm tired. I bet. The arena emptied. Cleaning crew arrived. The national tour's trucks pulled up to the loading dock. Life moved on. Al found me near the exit. You did it. Did I? Connor's suspended from work. Lila lost her sponsorships. Aria's event company is facing breach of contract suits. And your grandmother's recipe is yours again. And I'm alone. You were already alone. Now you're alone with your dignity. He was right, but it didn't feel like victory. It felt like standing in an empty room after everyone left. Tom, Al said, you did the right thing. The right thing doesn't always feel right. No, but it's still right. I walked out of the arena into the February cold. My phone buzzed. Texts from unknown numbers, news outlets wanting interviews, lawyers offering services, everyone wanting a piece of the story. I turned off my phone and walked to the boardwalk. The amusement park stood silent, rides covered. I sat on a bench and watched the ocean. In 2 days, Connor would lose his real estate license, pending ethics review. Lila's yoga studio would close after her landlord invoked a morals clause. Aria's event company would face lawsuits from 3 sponsors. Evan Pike would be charged with trespassing. No one died. No one went to prison. Just consequences. In 6 months, I'd get a letter from Neil's estate. He left me something. Not money. A notebook. Every manipulation Aria had pulled since she was a child. Every lie. Every stolen moment. Documentation of a life built on performance. You were the only one who fought back, the letter would say. Finish what we started. But that night, sitting on the bench, I didn't know any of that. I just knew I'd won something that felt like losing. My phone buzzed one last time before I turned it off. Neil. You did good, thank you. I typed back, you gave me the opening. You took it, that's what matters. Tell me, did they understand? At the end? I thought about Arya's face, Connor's silence, Lila's last words. I don't think so, not yet. They will. When everything they built falls apart, they'll understand exactly what they lost. A pause. Tom, I'm proud to have known you. Neil, make it count. Every day after this, make it count. 3 weeks later, he died. The funeral was small. Arya spoke, tears perfect, words hollow. I didn't attend. Dana went and told me about it later. She told everyone you refused to forgive, Dana said. I did refuse, just not the way she thinks. What's the difference? Forgiveness would mean forgetting. I'm not going to forget. Time passed. The story faded from social media. Other dramas took over. Life moved on the way it does. Connor tried to reach out 6 months later. Text message. Dad, can we talk? I deleted it. Lila sent a Christmas card. No return address. Just, I'm sorry. For everything. I kept it but didn't respond. Arya disappeared from social media. Moved to another state. Started over with a different name. I stayed in my apartment. Kept my job at the arena. Walked the catwalks. Lived my life. Some nights I still dream about that moment, standing on the catwalk, microphone hot, the whole arena listening, the power of saying no, the weight of meaning it. But most nights I sleep fine, because revenge isn't hot. It's not passion or violence or rage. It's cold math, counterweights and fulcrums, load distribution and safety margins. And when you engineer it right, when you balance every weight and measure every force, the whole structure shifts. They wanted to erase me, make me the ghost in their story. Instead, I made them prove who they really were. In front of everyone, on camera. And when the lights came up and the show ended, only the truth remained. That's not revenge, that's physics.